National Party are calling for the execution of the murderers of Lee Rigby. We need to bring back capital punishment.
So Adam, we've just had the verdict. How do you feel about the result?
Well, I mean, we did want a guilty result, so that's great. It's kind of what we wanted, but we'll just have to wait and see what sentencing brings. Obviously, sentencing for us will be slightly different. For them, it's going to be living in the lap of luxury for many years, I would imagine.
Well, it's taken them nearly 2 hours to deliver that verdict. Do you reckon they actually took 30 seconds and then said, sod that, we're going to sit around for 2 hours to make them think that it was a difficult decision?
Well, I don't think it would be a difficult decision at all, considering the evidence that they were presented with. I mean, some of it made me feel physically sick when I heard, how they mowed the gentleman down. Lee Rigby actually mowed him down to render him helpless first, before they savagely attacked him, which I thought was absolutely disgraceful. Just showed pure and utter cowardice, So I think they probably came to their decision at the beginning of the trial rather than over the last few hours.
Well, it's an interesting one, really, because they were claiming that Allah told them, or somebody told them in the Muslim world, that they're soldiers and they should go and kill our soldier. But they can't have it both ways. They claim to be British. If they're British and they kill one of our soldiers, they've committed treason. And the answer to treason is that rope up there.
Well, the answer to treason was that rope until Mr. Blair got rid of that law for obvious reasons, perhaps. I don't know. I mean,
he hasn't. He's tried to. He believes he's repealed that, but there's no way that he can repeal that as part of our constitution. That treason is a hangable offence. So it's an unlawful, unlawful action he's taken, and there's lots of lawyers who will testify to that. So whenever we come to office, we can just use the rope because it's still there on the statute books.
Well, it'll save us a lot of taxpayers' money, won't it? And we are trying to make cutbacks at the moment. It'd be an ideal way of doing that, wouldn't it? We wanted a guilty verdict for the trial, and we chuffed to bits with that. That's really good. We'll be back for sentencing. Don't know when that'll be. Probably mid-January, I would suggest, or thereabouts. But I would like everybody who's watching this to try and get ready for that. We will have a date. I know this was a bit of a last-minute thing. We've still managed to muster quite a few people here, so that's good. But we'll have a trial date for the sentencing. So hopefully we'll be able to get a good few more people there.
Well, it was very short notice for us finding out about today. So a lot of people wanted to be here, as you know, and they couldn't make it. But they'll have plenty of notice now, won't they? So we should have a really good crowd next time.
And one of the main things as well to mention is that we are the only political party here who's actually here in presence and who's actually spoken out about what's happened here. The others have said absolutely nothing. I mean, you've got David Cameron, Miliband, you've got Clegg, and you've got Mr. Fromage himself. I mean, he said nothing. Yeah, well, he said nothing about this. And why hasn't he said anything about this? They're supposed to be a pro-patriotic party, and they're just hot air and water. So, if they were a true patriotic party, surely this would be something that they would be grasping hold of rather than running away from. Absolutely,
and if they weren't here, the least they would do is campaign, to expose what's gone on, pardon me, and, to say how disgraceful and how disgusting it is that people should behave like animals, worse than animals. Animals don't do that sort of thing. These people are disgusting.
Well, they are indeed. Well, you've got to remember they're taking advantage of a situation, and they've been allowed to do that by those in Westminster. So those are the ones we should be pointing the finger at, because if they weren't engaged in traitorous acts, such as allowing our population to be populated by such savagery, then we wouldn't have these problems on our streets. And I'll guarantee you, within a few years, this will become a repeat performance.
Well, that's right. I've been surprised to see how many people, not just down here, but everywhere, when you say, what about Lee Rigby? People were horrified initially. There's an awful lot of ordinary people who are saying, well, so what?
Yeah.
There's so many apathetic people in this country, it makes me sick.
Yeah, well, it's just one of them things. I mean, people are, they're kind of brainwashed by the system. They've got They've got their football, they've got their alcohol, they've got their drugs, they've got their celebrities, they've got their soaps, they've got all sorts of things to hide behind, but they're going to have to face up to the cold, true reality and the fact that this is not going to go away, and it's going to get a lot worse in the years to come.
And I guess, you know, they would feel a lot different if they were Lee Rigby's wife or a member of his family, or if it was a member of their family that was hacked on the street.
Indeed, it's because that they're not in that situation themselves. They don't really care. So, like I say, they're hiding behind various parts of the media that's thrown upon them, and that's what they'll continue to do until they wake up, and they're going to have to wake up fairly quickly.
So before we wind up, would you like to thank all the people that's come down?
Indeed,
and,
yeah. I mean, people
today?
have made a great effort to be here today. We've had a bus travel down from the northwest. We came down ourselves last night. We've got our London people here as well. So we've got people from far afield. And I'd just like to say a massive thank you to everybody. I think they've done a real good job of being here at such short notice. So hats off to them. I hope the people who are watching use that as a bit of inspiration for next time we're down here, and I hope to see a lot more people.
I'm sure they will. Thanks very much, Adam.
Thank you, Mike.